Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the good life.
The wait is over.
Welcome to the good life.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Gumbo Talk Thursday, and you know we're about to jump into the stew, but not the stew that you usually think. Usually in the first 15, we like to start with all the hot topics, and I kind of feel like it's gossipy sometimes, and they had all this stuff all over the news, and I was like, I'm just really not feeling it. We turn on the news every day. We hear about all the negativity in the first 15 minutes. Then we see the weather and sports, and then it ends with some more negativity. And I'm just like, I'm over it. I don't know if y'all are over it, but the good life is not doing that this morning. So this morning, we are jumping into something that's going to open your mind to living differently in the world. CNN revealed their top 10 heroes for 2015. So I thought it would be a little bit eye-opening about who you think about who you admire, who you really pay attention to, because a lot of these people are people who fly under the radar. CNN's top 10 heroes include a doctor who helps the homeless, a protector of wild animals, a former inmate, and a combat veteran. How many times do you hear those stories of compassion in the news? You don't. So here on The Good Life, that's what we're going to do for the first segment this morning. We're going to kind of meet 10 truly remarkable individuals whose passion to help the world has literally changed the world. They will each receive about $10,000 and be recognized as CNN heroes. So I know all of y'all, like, oh, I should have been a better person this year, right? Right, Rachel? You should have been a better person, so you could have been one of these. But I want you to know that you can go on CNN.com and you can vote for these persons. So whoever you like, it is, they will announce them and they'll put together a whole piece about them. So whomever you choose or, you really feel compelled, go on CNN.com and, vote for them. I'm a CNN junkie, so I really couldn't help this. Wait. So I was really excited when this came out. I was like, I want to talk about it.
But every year when they do this, it's just remarkable. Each person is so amazing, you don't really care who wins. I mean, Everyone is so worthy to win. The stories are truly
absolutely
awesome.
Absolutely. I'll go first, and if you all want to, read one as we go through, just let me know. The first one is an undercover doctor for the homeless. Can you imagine? Oh, my goodness.
Bless his heart.
For more than 20 years, Dr. Jim Withers has taken his medical practice to the streets of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, offering free quality health care to the homeless. To win their trust, Withers used to walk the streets dressed like a homeless person, rubbing dirt in his hair and muddying up his clothes. He would search for those who needed medical attention who might be too suspicious of him otherwise. It was important for Withers to connect with people who would seek him out. Instead, he reached out to them. I'm just like, how many of us would put ourselves in that situation? The other night we had a meeting and, we had food left over. And just the idea of, we were like, everybody was like, we'll take this home. And one of the guys was like, oh, let's go give it to the guys under the bridge. And I was like, oh, my gosh. So everybody was like, no. So they packed up the food so he could take it. But what do we do for the least of us? What do you do every day for those? And this is a doctor who takes his time to go take care of the homeless.
Can I just tell you something about the food under the bridge?
Sure.
I don't know what the law is here in Louisiana. But in New York, it's illegal to give food to someone else. You can be sued for it.
Really?
So I know because I have a son who lives in New York.
Wow.
So what?
Go check the law first.
Well, wait. You know what the young people do? If let's say you get a sandwich and you only eat half, they take the other half and they put it nicely on top of a garbage can. And that way the homeless people know they can eat it. But my son could not legally hand it to somebody and say, would you like
wow.
this? So, I mean.
Well, I will say we had a meeting, so we had some. You know how you get those foot-long, those foot-long po' boys. So we had those left over. And so.
But isn't that crazy, though?
That is crazy.
So, like, your heart's in the right place and you still
get. Oh, yeah, well, that happens every day. They're all kind of crazy.
Well, before you read all the rest of these, I just have to tell you on my most recent trip, when I got on the plane, I was sitting right across from Anderson Cooper.
Oh, were you?
He had been in New Orleans. I guess it was about the Hurricane Katrina stories. And so I had a little chat with him, and what a lovely person. He was just sitting
amazing.
there,
he really
and he just kind of kept to himself, understandably. But I thanked him for all the coverage and help that
He
he's
did a
given to
really
New
great
Orleans.
coverage for
So
New
he's
Orleans.
actually one of my heroes because I just think he's
So
done
he's
an
your
extraordinary
CNN
job
hero
for
for the
New
year?
Well, for New Orleans, you know what I
Right.
mean. He's been so loyal and
The next one is Sloth Lady. Monique Poole has dedicated herself to helping wild animals in the South American country of, y'all better help me with this, Suriname?
Suriname. Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
But if I got it wrong,
Well,
don't
yeah.
judge me. Poole has rescued, rehabilitated, and released hundreds of sloths and other mammals back to the rainforest. It all started in 2005 when Poole's dog went missing. During her search, she called the Animal Protection Society and learned that a baby sloth had been orphaned. Poole offered to take it in. She was like, she didn't know anything about sloths, but learned a lot. She then sought advice from international experts on how to take care of the animals and has been doing it ever since. Today, Poole's nonprofit Green Heritage Fund helps protect sloths and implement other conservation efforts in the country. Her home serves as a temporary sanctuary for the animals. I don't know about all that.
Right.
I mean, but look, that's going out of your way to really make sure that somebody's
Yeah.
taken care of.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great work. Right, to your point, I don't know if I could have a home full of sloths.
That's
and
why she's
other-
a CNN hero and I'm not.
wait, what do they look like?
Sloths, I think they're really cute. Everybody should go to the Audubon Zoo and go.
They are super cute. They always look like they're smiling, but they sleep
see if they
something
have
crazy
one.
like 22 hours a day.
They do have sloths at the zoo.
Yes.
They do. They have sloths at the zoo. And we have Cindy on the line. Good morning, Cindy. How are you?
Hey, good morning, ladies.
I know you're in
How are
Minnesota.
you?
We miss you in the studio today.
Am I missing what?
I said, I know you're in Minnesota. We miss you in the studios today. We're going over the CNN's 10 heroes for 2015. They released them this morning. So I'm going through a couple of them. We've gone through 2. And the number 3 is growing fresh produce in a food desert.
I love this one.
Don't
I read
you?
this story recently. Yeah.
Richard Joyner has brought a bounty of food to what was a nutritional desert, and we know of that kind of ninth word here in New Orleans. Joyner, a local pastor, started a community garden after watching many of his parishioners die from preventable diseases.
Wow.
Excuse me, diabetes, high blood pressure. When we first got started, we counted 30 funerals in 1 year. Can you all believe that? So today, his
Wow.
nonprofit, I can't pronounce.
I don't
Give
know.
it to me.
I don't know if it's
Conto.
Conto.
Look at
yeah.
these things this morning. Family Life Center. Y'all can go on CNN.com and see if you can pronounce them too, so you know we're not crazy. Manages more than 20 plots of land, including one 25-acre site. More than 80 local young people help him plant and harvest nearly 50,000 pounds of fresh food a year. You know, the children learn how to cook food in nutritious ways, and they're steering their families toward better choices. So, you know, what an impact he's making on the community there as well.
Yeah, and that's long-term impact, right? The kids, they learn how to eat healthy, or they teach their kids
Yes.
how to eat healthier.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful.
This is the one we're going to get Rachel on. Babysitting money transforms the entire community. We're going to get Rachel to babysit everybody.
You got it.
You got it. Well, this actually goes into our next segment, so about childcare. The New Jersey woman who saved her babysitting money has made a difference half a world away in Nepal. 10 years ago, Maggie Doyne decided to backpack around the world before college. But during a stop in Nepal, her life took an unexpected turn. She met women and children who were struggling to survive the aftermath of a decade-long civil war. Doyne called her parents and asked them to wire her $5,000 she had earned babysitting. She purchased land in Surkut and worked with the local community to build a children's home. So today, the
Blink now.
Kopila, which means flower bud in Nepali, is home to about 50 children from infants to teenagers. What you can do with your babysitting money.
Too bad all the kids are in school who should be hearing this.
Right,
Yeah.
right. What you can do with your
Beautiful.
babysitting money.
And her foundation is called Blink Now Foundation.
Blink
I like
Now
the name.
Foundation.
I like the name of it.
I know. That is cool. That is a cool name, Blink Now. Next, Iraq and Afghanistan combat veteran Sean Gobin's nonprofit Warrior Hike has a unique way to help combat vets process their troubling war experiences, which is so important. We have all of our vets and, military personnel coming back and aren't necessarily getting,
The support
that they need, and it's really very sad. So he came up with the idea during the 2012 hike along a 2,168-mile Appalachian Trail. I would not have been on that hike.
No.
But hiking 8 hours a day, he was processing all of these experiences that he had put away. And he said he knew that there were other combat veterans that needed to do that too. So War Hike provides combat veterans with all the equipment and supplies that they need to complete long-distance hikes throughout the country. Ranging from 2 to 6 months, these journeys give veterans a chance to connect with nature and work through their issues while enjoying the camaraderie and support of other war veterans. It's really so important. And, we're thinking about just the war veterans, but think about how nice it is to, to be able to talk about something that you're going with someone who actually understands.
Mm-hmm.
We need that in every day. If we reach our girlfriends, guys, go to the gym
Right.
or whatever at work,
football game.
Yeah, a football game and, have a beer and, kind of commiserate. So next up, we are discussing the CNN 10 Heroes of 2015. You can go on CNN site and vote for your favorite. The next is a hero of...
Can you vote a lot of times?
I don't know. But if they're your favorite, you should try, right? Who wants to say this next one? You're trying to mess with me.
Bhagwati Agrawal.
There you go.
Agrawal.
There you go. He was a water crisis. There was a water crisis in his homeland that spurred him to act. His nonprofit, Sustainable Innovations, created a rainwater harvesting system that now provides life-changing, safe drinking water to more than 10,000 people across 6 villages in the driest region of India. Y'all think about how we take for granted
That we turn on the
water.
faucet and there
Exactly,
it is.
and there's water.
Sure. Yeah.
There are people who don't have water every day. Think about it. California's record-breaking drought has made news. But where he is in India, water scarcity is a way of life. Women and children walk miles to get water and clean dishes with sand to conserve it. His system called, don't get me there, it's Hindu for River from the Sky. It's a network of rooftops, gutters, pipes, and underground reservoirs that collect and store the rains, which fall from July to September. So how amazing is that?
Awesome.
Next up, Kim Carter. I like her last name.
Yeah.
Of San Bernardino, California, cycled in and out of incarceration and homelessness until she decided it was time for a change. Now her nonprofit, Time for Change, helps hundreds of women in similar circumstances reclaim their lives. The group provides housing, counseling, and job training, as well as services to help women reunite with their children. Oh my gosh. Homeless women and children, I call them invisible people. We pretend that we don't see them, but I see them, and I know there's something we can do to help them. And so that is Kim Carter out of San Bernardino, California. Next up is Rochelle Ripley. She spent her summers listening to her grandmother's stories. Her grandmother, a full-blooded Lakota, taught her about their culture and the struggles that their people faced. Before her grandmother died, she asked Ripley to do one thing: go home and help their people. Today, Ripley is fulfilling that promise through her nonprofit, Hawking. She has delivered an estimated $9 million in services and goods to the Lakota people. Ripley's group helps those in need with employment, safe housing, and healthy food. 4 to 5 times a year, Ripley makes the trip from her home from Connecticut to South Dakota's Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation. Shout out to the Sioux, because rally night is tomorrow night, so everybody who went to Ursuline Academy knows exactly what I'm talking about. Working alongside the tribe, she and the volunteers run a food bank and provide free health services, home renovations, and educational opportunities. What a difference what a different world we would live in if we all reached back to our communities and did something. What if we reached back and did something? Next up, for single parents, dealing with cancer offers its own set of challenges. Jody Farley Behrens saw the need firsthand when her childhood friend faced that situation. Making ends meet is insurmountable. There are so many doctor's appointments, co-pays, surgeries, prescriptions, and everybody knows somebody who has been in this situation. And then the inability to work. Any savings that there may have been is gone very quickly. So she did all she could help. After her friend passed away, Farley Behrens helped start a nonprofit dedicated to assisting others in similar circumstances. Since 2006, Singleton Moms has provided practical, financial, and emotional support to more than 300 parents in Phoenix, Arizona area.
Yeah, and they provide house cleaning and food and
All kinds of
and
things.
there's just all sorts of financial,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Things you
this
really
is one person who is making a difference.
Yeah.
And these people with a thought and idea can make a difference, what can we do? Next up, in Chicago, Chicago's troubles neighborhoods. Dr. Daniel Ivankovich, I got it.
Got it.
Witnessed countless people struggling to get medical treatment because they were underinsured. A lot of people know about that, or they hadn't had any insurance at all. They were put on wait lists for months, even years, just to receive basic procedures, and their injuries got worse. He said he thought to myself, this is happening in America? So he vowed to treat patients regardless of their ability to pay. In 2010, he co-founded the nonprofit One Patient Global Health Initiative. Today, he runs 3 clinics in Chicago and performs more than 600 surgeries a year. He says more than 100,000 people have benefited from his program in Chicago. He said, I know I can't fix everybody, but his goal is to be the battering ram. So these are the top 10 CNN Heroes of the Year. So I urge you all to go online and to vote. And the whole point of this segment was if these 10 people can make a difference in all these areas of the world, if we all cumulative got together, what a different world we would live in. Let's open our minds to living differently in the world. Let's live the good life. This is Eileen. We are here on Gumbo Talk Thursday. I'm here with Jeanette and Rachel, and we will be right back discussing child care. It's not just a female issue. It's a family issue. We'll be right back.
Hello? I need help. My hair is a mess and my man texts me telling me to be ready for 8. He has a surprise. What am I going to do? My stylist takes forever.
I got you. Call Ringlet Salon. I just left there.
Where?
Ringlet Salon. They took me within minutes and had me in and out in no time. Very professional, and I scheduled online at ringlets.com.
For real?
Girl, for real.
Does Ringlet Salon hook up your roots?
Looks like I got a perm, and you know I'm anti-chemicals. Ringlet Salon has my hair soft and bouncy. I'm getting the Brazilian Blowout Express next week. It eliminates frizz for 6 weeks.
6 weeks? Okay, I'm all about Ringlet Salon. Where are they located?
Ringlets has 2 locations, one at 4712 Paris Avenue and one in the Hilton Hotel on the river. That location validates parking for 4 hours and is open on Sunday.
Perfect for a working woman like me. That's all I needed to know. I'm going to be fresh for my man.
You will if you schedule your appointment at ringlets.com. That's RINGLETTS.com.
Bye. Go and make my appointment with Ringlet Salon now.
Eric Caulfield represents a new kind of leadership for the state Senate. He's honest, independent, dedicated to public service, and his qualifications are impeccable. Eric is a Morehouse man, graduating Phi Beta Kappa and earned his master's and PhD degrees from MIT. He was appointed by President Barack Obama to serve as a White House fellow and served as chief policy advisor to former Newark Mayor Cory Booker. He's an urban planner, scientist, inventor, loyal Democrat, and today a candidate for the Louisiana State Senate. Eric's work for President Obama here in New Orleans resulted in $4 million in construction jobs, street improvements, housing for nearly 70 homeless New Orleanians, and a renewed commitment to helping the people he wants to serve.
That is why I went into government, to get things done. I'm Eric Caulfield, and I'll bring a new kind of leadership to the state Senate.
Vote for Eric Caulfield, number 41, State Senate, District 4, paid for by the Committee to Elect Eric Caulfield.
Sick and tired. We're all sick and tired of Bobby Jindal cutting our schools, keeping tens of thousands from getting health care while he runs for president. That's why so many of us are voting for Democrat John Bel Edwards. John Bel Edwards is the only candidate for governor who supports an increase in the minimum wage, who voted for equal pay for women, and John Bel stood up to Bobby Jindal when he attacked our hospitals and universities. David Vitter and the Republicans all oppose even a small minimum wage increase and equal pay for women. They would be just like Bobby Jindal, and we can't have that. Election Day is Saturday, October 24th. Early voting starts October 10th and goes through October 17th. If you are sick and tired of Bobby Jindal, vote for Democrat John Bel Edwards. Paid for by Louisiana Families First, not paid for or authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694 with a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
L&R Security provides the good life. They make their mark in the security arena by providing excellent security services for more than 35 years, and are licensed in more than 13 states. L&R Security's team comes with a wealth of experience from the military, law enforcement, and law enforcement training. Their personnel is comprised of more than 200 employees trained in video monitoring, special event services, convention services, armed and unarmed security guards, ticket takers, executive security, personal bodyguards, hall monitors, and critical infrastructure personnel that are TSA trained. L&R Security services are provided on a 24-hour basis and have expanded to the newest technology, including video monitoring. Find them on the web at www.lrsecurity.com or call them today at 504-943-3191. Again, that number is 504-943-3191. Live the good life with L&R Security today.
Listen to WBOK 1230 AM anywhere in the world. Live at www.wbok1230am.com. WBOK 1230 AM, talk radio in New Orleans.
Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the good life.
The wait is over. The wait is officially over. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Gumbo Talk Thursday. I am in the studio with Jeanette, and I am here with Rachel, and I have the ladies surrounding me. And unfortunately, sometimes we think that this issue is a female issue. And I don't want to say all gentlemen, but I want to say maybe some politicians like to find that it's a female issue. But I would like to say here on The Good Life, and for everyone listening on WBOK, Gospel is Golden, and all around the world, because WBOK is all around the world, this is a family issue. If your child can't get picked up at 3 o'clock, and we still have Cindy on the line. My bad. I'm sorry, Cindy. Love you in Minnesota. And look, listen to WBOK in Minnesota. If your child can't get picked up at 3 o'clock, it is not just the mother's responsibility to get the child. It's the father's responsibility as well.
Or the grandparent.
Or the right. You know, we co-parent to make sure they get it done. Now, you may not actually be doing the picking up, but you're making sure that it's getting done and we're being responsible parents, right? So I was reading in Huffington Post that currently, and this came out yesterday, child care is more expensive than college in most states. And look, Jeanette's like, I feel this. And we were having this conversation with Rachel during the break, and college is more expensive. I mean, is less expensive than child care in some states. That is out the box. The ballooning cost, just to give it to you, the ballooning cost of college isn't the only thing that's breaking parents' bank accounts. It's more expensive to pay for a year of daycare for an infant than to pay for a year of tuition at public colleges in most U.S. states, according to an analysis of child care costs released Tuesday by the Progressive Economic Policy Institute. The analysis was High Quality Child Care is Out of Reach for Working Families. That was the title. It found that child care is unaffordable for median income two-child families in 10 major metropolitan areas. And it's way out of reach for minimum wage workers, regardless of where they live. I know there was a big discussion last night of raising the minimum wage to $15. Raise it, because the majority of it is going to be going to child care anyway.
Yeah, you can't survive without it, literally. So it's interesting. My husband and I were having a discussion. There was this trend in New York, in in L.A., Beverly Hills, where a sign of wealth was the number of kids that people had.
Obviously.
Yeah. So the more kids they like, if you had a tribe of 5 people, knew that you had a ton of money because you could afford to send them to school and feed them and clothe them and house them and all that fun stuff. So that just gives you an idea of how insane childcare is. So I have an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old.
So you have firsthand, how does it affect you?
So It is life. It alters how you live your life because of the amount that childcare costs. So you have your base childcare, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a school or a daycare or whatever it may be, it certainly impacts you based on your income, but it impacts you nonetheless.
But I will say this before you even kind of delve into that. The most important years of any child's development or person's development, let's not even your development, people listening here, was 0 to 6.
Yes.
That's where you learn the most information in your entire life. You learn a language. You learn how to walk.
You learn how to socialize.
How to socialize. Yeah. You learn so many things from 0 to 6. It can literally change your
Right.
life. It
Right.
literally does.
Right.
So it's very important years. So, you know, we understand concerns where parents just don't want to go sit them in front of a TV all
Right.
day, and they want them to actually interact, socialize, you know, learn how to do buckles and, you know, tie things and,
Right.
you know, touch and feel and texture and cut. You want your child to learn stuff, their colors, their letters. So there are differences in childcare. Now,
There
go ahead.
are. So even sitting in front of a TV, you have to pay for that. That'll cost you about $100 to $150 a week to send your child to a daycare to sit them in front of a television. And then you have somewhat of the opposite end of the spectrum, schools like Newman and McGee and Sacred Heart, where they're about $11,000 to $12,000 a year when you take lunch into consideration, because
Right.
that's separate.
Because you do have to feed them.
Because you do have to feed them. And
They do
then
eat.
there's before and after care, which is another $8 an hour on top of that base of $10,000, $11,000, $12,000
Because
a year.
when they're little, you know, and even sometimes, and this trips me out, they'll have school from 8 to 12.
Yeah.
Now, you know I don't get off at 12
Right.
o'clock, so why
9
is
to
school
3.
in- I'm like, you know, 9 to 3. And it's different when, you know, my child's in 6th grade, so it's different when he's in 6th grade, you know, they have after-school activities,
Yeah.
so it kind of stretches out
Yeah,
till
but
5
for the
or
2-year-old,
something.
no.
Yeah, the 2-year-old's like, Mommy, where are you? Come pick me up. And like, I'm ready to play. And you're like, you have to go somewhere else, and I have to go back to work.
Right, which also inspires guilt for so many parents because somebody else is with your kid 5 days a week, much longer than you are, which is also a push to have paid maternal and paternal leave. But that's a whole different, a topic for another day.
We'll get to that.
But no, it's very expensive. So even if you just think about the average income in the state of Louisiana or just New Orleans itself, let's say it's $8 an hour. Aftercare is $8 an hour. Do the math on that. How do you pay for anything else? Because you're paying 3 hours of your day. It's going to just aftercare.
But guess what? If you're working at one of the, if you're getting minimum wage, that is your income.
That is your income, and that's before you've done anything.
Think about that. If aftercare is $8 an hour and you're on minimum wage, that is your income. So you haven't even paid for your house,
Actually, you've
gas.
You've come out behind because you have to pay taxes on
That's
that.
right.
Oh, you're
$8
right.
an hour.
You're right. I'm sorry. Thank you, Rachel. So how was childcare for you? Because I know we're all at different stages of your life. Jeanette has really young ones. Mine's get in middle school, maturing, and Rachel, yours a little bit older. So how was it for you?
Well, my kids are in their 20s now, so it was kind of a different ball game then because things weren't. I mean, proportionally they were expensive. Too. I mean, I'm not saying they weren't still a struggle, no matter what generation you're talking about. But I think in past generations, people had more help from their parents and grandparents, and also, I remember people would team up, like 4 women would get together and they would take turns, where each, it wasn't like daycare, they would just help each other out, like I'll take the kids this week. But, I mean, if you have a job where you work from 8 to 6, I hate to sound cold about this, but you should be thinking about whether you should have children. I'm just
But that's the
presenting
reason a lot of people don't.
Right. Well, I'm just saying because it is such a struggle. You can make those decisions on where you want your resources to go. I mean, we all have a certain amount of income, and we all have to do what we can with that income.
Right.
So we have to choose what to do with it. I mean, it's a tough thing. If you put your children in childcare, you're absolutely right, Janet. You have the guilt of somebody else is with my child. Your children get sick more of the time. Then, you're in worse shape because then the kid can't go to daycare because the kid's sick. Then you still have to stay home. You know what I mean? It's a very complicated mess. But going back to your original comment, it's in today's world, I think more of the men are involved. So I'm not talking about for single moms, but but people who have a dad that's, either married or they're actively involved in their life, they have at least somebody that hopefully these men are more enlightened and can split things up with. So, in my case, it was pretty entertaining because, I'd have a symphony concert, and I'd be sitting there, praying that my husband would get home, at 5:59. So at 6 o'clock, I could, run downtown to go play a concert. So at least I think that's what a lot of people are doing is they're working split shifts. People, particularly the people you're talking about on more minimum wage salaries, where one person works the day shift and one person works the night shift, and that's how they're divvying things up so that one of the parents is always with the kids.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are doing that.
Right. But how does your family function? Your family unit function?
You don't have one.
You have to do what you need to do.
No, I'm not saying don't do what you need to do, but I'm saying how does your family unit, how are you ever really a family if you're seeing them come and go?
Yeah, when no one's ever at home at the same time.
Right.
The entire unit.
And this isn't for our dads because I think, we have seen a shift in that where a lot of the dads are more important, are more involved in, this isn't going out to dads. My conversation was to our lawmakers, and that was because the majority of them are male and they're dads. So I think you should be even, it should hit you even more, it should hit home even more that I need to make sure that child care costs are affordable.
Or reasonable.
Exactly. They say the Department of Health and Human Services considers child care affordable if it costs 10% of families' income or less. Using U.S. Census Bureau data to calculate the median family income, EPI found that child care is unaffordable for middle-class families with 2 children in the 10 places it examined on the basis of their geographic and economic diversity. Let me give you these 10 places because it's not what you think. Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Detroit, Kansas City, Las Vegas, Raleigh, North Carolina, San Francisco, Stamford, Connecticut, and Tampa, Florida. In those places, child care is unaffordable for the middle-class family with 2 children. 2. So basically, to afford anything, you can only have 1 child.
Right. And I think it also says, so the most affordable market is Atlanta, and that is on average 14% of their income, whereas Hawaii, on average, it's 74% of a family's income for child care.
So what do you do? And this isn't, we're not even talking about low income. We're talking about middle income families.
So what do you think people do?
They don't have as many children. And that's why they're waiting later in life when they're making more money. And they're like, well, what's happening to the family? You can't take care of one. You can't take care of one. Why are people waiting to get married? Why are you getting married in your 30s?
It really is.
Because I can't afford it.
Right. It's impacting the family unit. And I think this is such an American struggle. As I kind of read about expat life and how other countries do things, this is largely an American dynamic.
Yes.
Other countries, they have government supplemented child care because they are formative years, and they're interested in developing people that they can put out into the world that can do some good. They have paid maternity leave and paternity leave.
Grow their economy,
They grow their, right. This is a dynamic. Of course, we also have the minimum wage issue, which is not an issue in a lot of other places. So it's a dynamic that we've created and we continue to support under false pretenses, false premises. It's heartbreaking because it's controllable, and the blueprint's already been formulated by every other progressive country, other than us. It's a choice.
Well, I bet it's not an issue in the like in Norway and Sweden
at all.
Denmark.
Actually, I was reading something that they don't. I don't want to really speak on it because it was only a blip that I read, but they weren't forcing their children young to learn how to read, and they were like, they're turning out fine. But that we put so much pressure on our children young instead of kind of spacing things out, that we're kind of doing more harm than good. But that's a whole other show like we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that one. But I kind of wanted to give you 2 sides of the story from 2 people who are beating the pavement right now, running for president. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has proposed providing a tax cut for middle-class families to offset the cost of child care, and promises to double spending on early Head Start programs, which offer comprehensive daycare and education for low-income families. Clinton also said she would ensure universal access to preschool within 10 years. If that happens, y'all might see me do the cartwheel. And on the end, to give you both sides, Bernie Sanders, and I'm going to give you the Democratic side because the other side isn't really talking about it. So I'm going to give you Bernie Sanders. Clinton, well, it is what it is.
Right.
He said he would ensure high-quality, affordable daycare and preschool for all by taxing Wall Street and the wealthy.
Yeah.
So he said that's where he's going to get the money to do it.
The money is there. It's just what they're deciding to do with it.
It's what they're deciding to do with it.
It's there.
It's always there.
Run that by me one more
There are
time.
billions floating.
On every topic is always that.
Right.
It's there. It's where you want to spend it. We can spend it, overseas and all these wars and everything else, or we can take care of our children. Oh, my bad. Did I say that?
Oh, right.
Yes,
Wait,
I did.
can I say one thing?
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, can you spend it on the streets near my house, please? Mr. Mayor, pretty please. I'm paying lots of taxes.
This is The Good Life. This is Gumbo Talking. We always get in the stew, so y'all know we do it. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
New Orleans Masters of Groove, the Funky Meters, will team up with the legendary Alan Toussaint, Walter Wolfman Washington, and New Orleans' own Queen of Soul, Irma Thomas, at the deliciously entertaining Crescent City Blues and Barbecue Festival, October 16th through 18th at Lafayette Square. This free festival is family-friendly and is powered, produced, and presented by the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation. This very unique blues festival will include some of the best art exhibits and barbecue in the South with more than 40 local vendors. Vegetarian, vegan, and gluten-free options are available, as well as bread pudding and peach cobbler for dessert. If you're hungry for great music, food, and fun, make sure that you visit us on the web at jazzandheritage.org for a scheduled lineup of all artists performing at the 10th Annual Crescent City Blues and Barbecue Festival to be held in Lafayette Square, October 16th through 18th.
Sick and tired. We're all sick and tired of Bobby Jindal cutting our schools, keeping tens of thousands from getting health care while he runs for president. That's why so many of us are voting for Democrat John Bel Edwards. John Bel Edwards is the only candidate for governor who supports an increase in the minimum wage, who voted for equal pay for women, and John Bel stood up to Bobby Jindal when he attacked our hospitals and universities. David Vitter and the Republicans all oppose even a small minimum wage increase and equal pay for women. They would be just like Bobby Jindal, and we can't have that. Election Day is Saturday, October 24th. Early voting starts October 10th and goes through October 17th. If you are sick and tired of Bobby Jindal, vote for Democrat John Bel Edwards. Paid for by Louisiana Families First, not paid for or authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Hello? I need help. My hair is a mess and my man texts me telling me to be ready for 8. He has a surprise. What am I going to do? My stylist takes forever.
I got you. Call Ringlet Salon. I just left there.
Where?
Ringlet Salon. They took me within minutes and had me in and out in no time. Very professional, and I scheduled online at ringlets.com.
For real?
Girl, for real.
Does Ringlet Salon hook up your roots?
Looks like I got a perm, and you know I'm anti-chemicals. Ringlet Salon has my hair soft and bouncy. I'm getting the Brazilian Blowout Express next week. It eliminates frizz for 6 weeks.
6 weeks? Okay, I'm all about Ringlet Salon. Where are they located?
Ringlets has 2 locations, one at 4712 Paris Avenue and one in the Hilton Hotel on the river. That location validates parking for 4 hours and is open on Sunday.
Perfect for a working woman like me. That's all I needed to know. I'm going to be fresh for my man.
You will if you schedule your appointment at ringlets.com. That's ringlets.com.
Bye. Go and make my appointment with Ringlet Salon now.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694 with a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
think it's just another day. But at Metro Disposal, this is our day. For more than 25 years, Metro Disposal has been a vital resource for waste management in our community. With state-of-the-art equipment and technology, we are committed to providing a cleaner, safer, healthier environment. This is our community. This is Metro Disposal.
L&R Security provides the good life. They make their mark in the security arena by providing excellent security services for more than 35 years and are licensed in more than 13 states. L&R Security's team comes with a wealth of experience from the military, law enforcement, and law enforcement training. Their personnel is comprised of more than 200 employees trained in video monitoring, special event services, convention services, armed and unarmed security guards, ticket takers, executive security, personal bodyguards, hall monitors, and critical infrastructure personnel that are TSA trained. L&R Security services are provided on a 24-hour basis and have expanded to the newest technology, including video monitoring. Find them on the web at www.lrsecurity.com or call them today at 504-943-3191. Again, that number is 504-943-3191. Live the good life with L&R Security today.
WBOK 1230 AM, the People's Station.
Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the good life.
The wait is over.
Good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Gumbo Talk Thursday, and we have gotten into this too. If you've been paying attention, we have opened your mind to living differently in the world and what's going on and what you need to pay attention to. We're going to open your mind a little bit more right now to one of my favorite places in the entire world, and I know it's one of your favorite places too. I am on the line with Amy Kirk of the French Market, because this weekend the Beau Carré Halloween and Harvest Festival is taking place, and I am so excited because Halloween is my favorite time of year. Amy, I know you didn't know this, but my birthday is November 1st. So Halloween is my favorite time of year.
You're an all saint, aren't
I
you?
am. Don't you see my halo?
Yeah, I was going to say, you must be a saint.
I am. Look, no side comments from the peanut gallery. So, Amy, what is going on in the heart of New Orleans, the heart of the world, the French Market?
Oh, thank you for saying that. I need to correct you really quickly because it's next weekend.
Oh, I'm sorry. Next weekend.
In New Orleans, we never can think that far ahead, but I am forced to, so...
You know, I'm all about a party,
and
I just want to go.
For it now, but thank the Lord you gave me a heart attack that it was this weekend. It's not. It's next weekend, October 17th. And so we still have it, a little bit early ahead of the big Halloween weekend because everyone's Octobers are crazy, as you know. So it's just one day, Saturday, October 17th, throughout the French Market District, and kids in costume get a free Beau Carré trick-or-treating bag, and they get to wander around the French Market from one end to the other. The shops at the Upper Pentalba on Jackson Square are part of our district, so we have stores there, and all the way from Café du Monde down to the flea market. We even have flea market vendors who hand out treats. So kids have a 6-block if they can do it, or they can just stay in Dutch Alley where we have petting zoo, miniature golf, lots of crafts.
Really?
Ooh, can big kids come? Can big kids come?
Yeah, everyone's welcome. Any child at heart is welcome, although we may not give you a trick-or-treat bag.
I'll just take my son's candy.
Right. I call that the mommy tax.
Yeah.
So this is next Saturday, October 17th from 10.
October 17th, yes, so plan ahead. So it's from 10 to 5. It really doesn't end till about 6, but at 5 o'clock we have a spooky second line, and so we'll close down the craft booth, and we don't want to scare the animals, so we end the event at 5 o'clock, and stores stay open till 6, so kids who arrive, a little bit later can probably still get some treats. But it starts bright and early at 10 o'clock with music and all the craft booths open. We have a lot of these really neat interactive craft activities that we do for all of our family events at the French Market that are hosted by groups like Yaya and other local arts groups and individuals who help kids make stuff and stuff they can take home, like second line hankies that they can decorate, or pumpkin bracelets and different kinds of
one.
necklaces. And one of the Yaya is actually going to be doing a Day of the Dead.
Really?
Speaking of your birthday, they're going to be doing a Day of the Dead theme, little Halloween bags that kids can make. So there are these really
Yaya.
cool other things, you know. Kids will be bouncing off the walls with candy, but hopefully they can focus for 10 minutes and make a craft and pet the pony.
That's why you give them candy and send them home with us, right?
Yeah, exactly. But hopefully they can have some calmer moments. We have this really cool group, Playbill NOLA is one of our partners, and they are out for all of our events too, and they do these great big foam blocks. You've probably seen them at the Children's Museum, the big blue foam. All moms know and love those because it's, again, a great way for kids to get out some of that energy. So they set up a pop-up playground in the alley, and then we have a miniature golf area. So there's a lot of, you know, there's enough physical stuff that they can kind of get that out and then wander around to the stores and get some treats. And it's a fun, very kind of mellow event because it's on the, you know, it's on the riverside of the quarter. You can park easily in our big riverside lot behind Cafe Du Monde. And a lot of people with little ones, you know, 3 and under, just stay in the alley because it's 2 blocks of stuff that they can do. They can go inside the Jazz Park and hear Jeanette Downing and Jane Morgan, and the New Wave Brass Band is going to be there. So there's a lot of stuff that'll be going on in this little area, but for the more adventurous, they can get the trick-or-treat sheet, and they wander up and down the district and get stuff.
I want the trick-or-treat sheet.
You can get that.
My son's 11. What's the age? What's the age range for the kids?
I think I keep changing that, by the way, because I just keep saying, because it's not really any requirement. It's just that I'll say, oh, maybe 2 to 8, or maybe 1 to 10, or maybe 0 to 12. You know, I mean, I think any
at least till 11.
Comfortable and happy, comfortable and happy wearing a costume and walking around, you know, is with their parents is good. We want them with their parents. But yeah, no, that's a good age because he's going to be able to at least make the trek also. Throughout the whole 6 blocks and explore it. And it's a neat opportunity for kids who may not get down to the quarter a lot or haven't been to the flea market and farmer's market in a while. We have a lot of new stuff in those areas. It's just cool. It's kind of a neat scavenger hunt, you know.
Right. And we need to expose our children to our culture. You know, sometimes we forget to take them down to the French market.
Exactly.
Yes. We take it for granted. I'm like, it's in our backyard, but people travel literally from all over the world to go to the French market, you know, to smell the vibe of New Orleans, and we have it in our backyard. So I'm really excited because I want a Yaya Halloween bag. But I have a question. Will you play golf with me?
Oh, you'll so win. Of course I'll play golf with you. I'm so bad at it. It'll be great. You'll feel like a pro. Yes, I will.
Well, then I'll let you play Aiden. Maybe we'll do that. Well, Jeanette has kids as well, so we want to make sure that we are there next Saturday, correct?
Yes, next October 17th. We start at 10 o'clock. You'll hear some accordion music with Julie's German Jubilee Band, and then we'll have some great jazz with the Viper Mad Trio, and we have a lot of really cool music too. So the adults will feel like, you know, you're getting that full French Quarter, French Market experience. So it's just a neat time to explore the area. And, you know, we love October here. It's just such perfect weather. I feel like that's the time that everybody should come to the quarter because you're not going to be walking around sweating, and you know what I mean?
Absolutely,
absolutely. It's the best time, and you can go up to the river. It's really easy access from Dutch Alley. Just walk across our parking lot right to the river and walk all along the river. And so, again, to the adventurous folks, I've done this many times with my now 5-year-old, then 4-year-old, is just walk all the way along to the aquarium or just go sit on the grass or, you know, it's a neat...
That's a good idea.
It gives you a whole different French Quarter experience when you're by the river. So I really encourage people to think about that because if you park in that lot, it'll be right in your face. You'll know.
Right, because you can cross right over.
Right there, or you can take the red streetcar, you know, the Riverline streetcar. So there's just kinds of, again, because it's so pleasant outside, I feel like you can take your time and not feel like, oh my God, we need to get back in the air conditioning.
Right.
Or, you know, so plan on a couple hours, and it does get crowded, so I would recommend people come early. We get a big rush in the morning, and then we get kind of the last minute rush at the end. But if you're able to get there by 11 or noon, you'll hopefully find some parking.
I'm going to be first.
Can relax. Yeah.
I plan to be first. I'm going to be there at 9:45 waiting. You're going to be like, really, Eileen? I'm like, yes. That's the good life.
Those are the ones I will never forget. There was one year where it was raining at like 9:30, and just out of the shadows at like 9:45, all these families came. It was still raining. They had their umbrellas. I literally almost cried because I was so worried no one was going to come. But there were the diehards, and the whole families were in costume, and they were there before 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And I mean, there's a lot of locals who know about it now and come regularly to it. And so it's fun to look at the photos because I can see these kids who've come every year to do it. This is our 7th annual. So there's kids who've been coming since they were 1 or 2. So yeah, it's very nice. And it's a good, again, it's a good off the beaten path kind of thing for Halloween. There's a lot of different kids Halloween events. This one is free. So that's nice too.
Oh, wait, say that again. It's what?
It's FREE.
Free. Y'all, it's
Yes,
free.
ma'am.
We like free.
Woo-hoo.
That's the good life.
Yeah.
We like that.
We
and
do.
Then, the slow food, there's some other stuff, too, that's going on. We're starting a new Slow Food Saturdays. Slow Food is this organization that's committed to urban or farmers and what it sounds like, slow food, farm-to-table kinds of things. And they are going to be with us every month, and they're kicking it off there. So they're going to be doing some sweet potato bisque demonstration.
Really?
And you'll find them once a month at the French Market, at the Farmers Market on Saturdays, doing different demonstrations. And they have this amazing presentation because they always have Blake Amos, who's this Caribbean guitarist. Well, he's from here, but he lived in Brazil and plays a lot of Caribbean music.
Mm-hmm.
And he's from here, then lived in New York and lived in Brazil for like 10 years. So he's back, and he's like part of their show, basically. He's right there next to the demonstration stage. And so it's this great sensory experience, like you were talking about the smell. So you smell whatever they're cooking, and then you hear this gorgeous solo guitar music throughout their demonstration and before, during, and after. Like if there's a break, sometimes cooking demos can be kind of strange because if the chef is concentrating and he doesn't have a side dish, you're just sort of sitting there, and
watching
it's fine.
him stir.
Most people who love food just sit there and watch, and they're entranced. But it's still nice to have this beautiful music. And so he was just there with us for the Downriver Festival, and we loved that they did so much. We're going to have them do that pretty much every month. And so they also put up an exhibit about sustainability and food and organic farming. And so it's kind of this neat educational pop-up art photography exhibit about what it means, what is organic versus, local food. I mean, people worry about one or the other or both, and it kind of explains all those things, nuts and bolts about eating healthy and different ways to get your food locally. And then they just have a cool, presentation, and they're just neat people. They have a whole army of interns and volunteers who are there to talk to people about food and healthy eating and stuff. So anyway, that's
I'm excited about the sweet potato bisque.
Yeah, sweet potato bisque. I know, and he'll have samples. But it's,
samples.
Saturdays, yeah.
Well, you got us. You got the adults with the music and the food. You're giving our kids candy. The effects won't be felt until we get home. It's free.
I know.
What
I'm
else
excited.
would you do on October 17th but be in the French Market? Rachel, what else would you do?
Thank you so much for doing this. It just sounds like an awesome opportunity for parents and their kids.
Thank you. No, it's great. It is funny. The French Market is one of those, just like New Orleans, it's just full of ironies because I love that at like one end we have Café du Monde and at the other end we provide fresh produce. So you can get both. You can get it all. You can feel like you're sinning and saintly on the same day. Go get some fresh, because we do have a farmer's market on Saturdays too. We have a Wednesday and Saturday farmer's market now. So you can see that in action when you're down there.
I did want to ask you about that, about the farmer's market.
Yeah, so Wednesday, actually next week is a big week for us because the 14th is the year anniversary that we've had Crescent City Farmers Market. They do markets, three other markets in town, and we're their fourth. And it was a huge deal to bring them back because we had them maybe over a decade ago for a brief period. And now we've got them back, and we've had them every Wednesday for a year from 2 to 6. And they usually have anywhere between, depending on the time of year, July, not great for produce, so between 5 and 20 produce and seafood vendors, depending on the time of year. But we're heading back into the best time of year, and so starting this week and next, they were there yesterday, of course, but next week we're having extended programming. Doc Riggs is going to be doing a fitness presentation.
Doc
Stephanie
Briggs.
Jordan. I don't know if you know this. Stephanie Jordan does a jazz Pilates class with us every Wednesday.
Really?
At the
No,
Jazz
I didn't.
Park.
Jeanette,
Noon.
let's go.
Yeah, noon. We have to have her on your show. So at noon every Wednesday, free jazz Pilates with Stephanie Jordan inside the Jazz Park.
I want to do it. Make sure
And
you email me that,
she
for real.
Really, really wants to do more cooking demonstrations with us because she's always like, I cook. So we, because we put her on stage at the Tomato Fest, I couldn't get her to do both. She wanted to do both, but I had already had the cooking demos all set with Louisiana Cooking Focus and all this kind of stuff. So she's going to come back and probably start doing a series of cooking demonstrations with us. We're still trying to work out the details, but this Wednesday, October 14th, she's going to do a cooking demonstration at, I think, 3 o'clock after her Jazz Pilates class. And so we'll get to see her in action again, wearing yet another hat. I mean, she's amazing. She's like the Renaissance woman.
She does everything. Kind of like you, kind of like the French Market. They do everything. So, y'all, we want to make sure that we are tourists in our own town. So as we, close out today, Bucarest Halloween and Harvest Festival in the French Quarter, October 17th. That is next Saturday, October 17th. It starts at 10 a.m. And there will be, this is one of my favorite parts, a spooky second line starting at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. So make sure, we know how to second line. We know how to do it right in New Orleans. Your children need to learn young.
Short.
That's the good life.
I'm short. Can I go as your kid and get the candy?
Hey, look, as long as you have your costume on, they may not know. So this is The Good Life with Eileen. We were here on Gumbo Talk Thursday. Thank you so much, Amy from the French Market, for giving us all the goods, and we'll keep in touch with you.
Excellent. Thanks a lot.
Stay tuned for The Good Life tomorrow because I have Calvin Mackey in the studio. We like to teach our children everything, but what we don't like to teach our children is how to make money. We don't teach them how to be entrepreneurs. So tomorrow we're going to discuss that. This is The Good Life. This is Eileen. We're all going to live the good life. I'm out.